G'day there, Investorholics and the casual viewers. If you've stumbled across my channel or this summary, we're going to look at the Millionaire Booklet, and this one is by GC, Uncle G, Grant Cardone. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't, but don't worry. Stick around for a quick look. I'll give you a quick run through of what this book's all about. It's not high level writing or anything like that. It's just a quick, honest book that he's put together, and it just highlights a few things that you could find useful. Takes you, maybe an hour or something to read it. It's not that thick or that heavy going, but it's more a primer. So hang around. I think it's worth your while. Well, hello there, Investorholics. This is Scott. Crack the Sky Value Investing will be giving you up-to-date investing news and content so you can navigate the markets wherever you are. My mission is to give you the knowledge and confidence to take control of your own personal finances, expand your investment horizons, and crack your financial sky. Well, as we all know, we all have to make a decision, and step one in the Millionaire Booklet is make the decision to be a millionaire. So that sounds kind of obvious, but quite possibly lots of people don't actually do that, and the reason is that, I don't know, maybe it seems crazy. So you've got to sit down and have a bit more of a think and change your thinking. You've got to lose the middle class mindset and get your millionaire hat on, so to speak. So 80% of millionaires are self-made. One of the things that he talks about is being capable of more, and most people don't really live up to their full potential. They've never really realized their full potential, and obviously they don't trust themselves. So people just got to have confidence, put trust in other people who have done it. So kind of what I've done, you do a lot of reading and you find people who have actually done it. So studying wealthy people, and then sort of put your trust in what they've done, because they're a pretty good example of what's actually possible. So one of the pieces of the puzzle, I suppose, is you do a lot of reading, and this is just one of the books that I read. So Grant's one of those people, but yeah. So step two, this is kind of one of the things that really grabbed me or impressed me, I suppose. It's such a simple concept. It's something that's not really spoken about or talked about. And if this is the only takeaway from this book, step two in his book is the millionaire math. And it's quite basic type of stuff, but it kind of breaks down and you can actually see how things are incrementally possible. So reinforce your millionaire possibility and your commitment to it. So wealth, it really only requires simple basic math, and any wealthy person will tell you that. For instance, if you earn $50,000 a year for 20 years, that means you've actually earned $1 million. So not that you can save all the $50,000 or all the $1 million, but you actually have the potential to earn $1 million at least. Whether you actually have $1 million at the end of 20 years is a bit different, but we want to reinforce the possibilities and commit to it. He also talks about, like I just said, wealth requires a simple math, and that's pretty stark just how simple it is, and he goes through a bit more in depth, and there's a few more tables, and it just shows you how simple things can really be. So step three in the 8 steps is increase your income. So money seems to flow to those who give it most attention and take most responsibility for it. Most people don't pay any attention to their money. As long as it gets in their pocket, at the end of each week or each month or whenever they get paid. That's about all the attention they pay to it. You know, another step here is, you know, money never comes to those people who actually complain about it, so you've got to be proactive. You know, if you're one of those people that are always, you know, oh, I'm so broke, blah, 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 moaning, crying, you know, always complaining, always whinging, you know, you're not going to get any money. You actually have to take responsibility for your life, take responsibility for your money. So if you want money, you must quit complaining, moping, crying, making excuses, which a lot of people do. Everybody else is the problem, not themselves. Yeah, so pretty much you actually got to focus on increasing your income. So, you know, make that commitment to achieve it. Yeah, and I think one of the most critical things here is the bottom point here. You know, you've actually got to operate like you are a business. So to increase your flows, you know, I look at myself as a business. So your business is your life is your business. I think that's something that everyone should keep in the back of their mind. So we want to be operating like we are a business. So step 4 in GC's 8 steps is who's got my money, and if you follow Grant at all, you know that this is one of the things he's always, I suppose, reinforcing the whole time. The simple fact is building wealth. The simple fact of building wealth is follow the money, and this is the one he sort of always, you know, bangs on about. Who's got my money? You know, he thinks that is one of the most powerful concepts of wealth creation. So billionaire Mark Cuban says, learn that business is sales. Sales made simple is who's got my money. So I think one of the things that most people don't realize is everybody is in sales. You're selling. Most people sell their time, so they come to a workplace, they do a function or a task, or that, you know, or a job in inverted commas, and that's selling your time. So we're all selling something, and we want to work out who's got our money. So we're all in sales. You know, if you want a pay rise, you know, you've got to sell yourself to the boss to get your pay rise. So it's as simple as that. We're all in sales. If you can't sell, you know, mainly everyone's selling themselves. If you can't sell yourself, you're not going to get that pay rise. I think this is one of the most important steps that most people neglect, I suppose. Step 5 is stay broke. So when you start increasing your income, you need to stay broke, not poor. So Grant has a policy of never ever having money sitting around. So once he's increased his income, he immediately moves it to different accounts where he's got different goals for it. You know, mainly future investments. So, you know, he'll set up some different savings accounts for specific future investment purposes. One of the other things he likes to always talk about is pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow. That's another one of his catchphrases. So pretty much it's just sort of a different way to say stay broke today, you know, stay broke but not poor. I mean, in effect, what the stay broke really is you're trying to reduce your, as your income goes up, you're trying to reduce your lifestyle creep, if I can get that out. So lifestyle creep is where your lifestyle grows to match your income. So effectively what you're doing is you're taking away any chance of creating savings to build investments and things like that. So what you want to be doing is, even if you're getting a pay rise, you're not spending that pay rise, you're keeping that pay rise aside, so, you know, in one of your investment accounts, so that you can actually use that money to invest into something else that's actually going to create an income for you on the side. So we want to be staying broke, saving our money while we're looking for new investments. We do the investment, if we get another pay rise along the way, we don't let our lifestyle enlarge to take up that additional money. We want to save that money, put it aside, and use it as investment, because we want to actually be creating passive income. Okay, so step 6, a bit more of a summary. So save to invest. You don't save to save. This is one of those ones that I suppose I wish I had known, or my parents had told me 30 years ago. Most of the old guys, or your mum, your dad, whatever, those just the average working parents, always telling you to save your money. But the problem is, what do you do once you save it? It was kind of like, that was the end. You just save your money. You might buy a house, but that kind of doesn't actually create any passive income along the way. It's not a good or true investment's going to actually create a lot of income down the line. So the only reason to save money is to invest it. Investing money is how you get super rich. The only reason to save money, as I just said, is for one day is invest that money. So, Grant tells a story about where he studied, investment properties and deals for 5 years. We looked at hundreds of apartments before he actually made an investment. So, goes back to the previous point, building up your surplus cash. This is what Grant did that for years before he did his first big real estate, because as I just said, he studied that, and that's one of his stories he likes to tell. So Grant doesn't gamble with his money. He invests in sure things. So that's kind of like, I suppose, taking a leaf out of Warren Buffett's playbook. So, first rule is don't lose money. The second rule is don't lose money. So, build up your circle of confidence and then invest. So, one of the things that I sort of picked up along the way too was probably from Buffett as well, but Grant talks about here is people never create wealth because they never ever invest enough in a deal to get a big payoff. So, when you're investing, I do a lot of, well, not a lot, but some investing into the stock market. So you've got to actually invest decent sums to actually get a decent return. And some of these things that Grant talks about, he sounds a bit like a value investor. So, if we've all heard of the intelligent investor. So, Benjamin Graham, and then, you sort of got Warren Buffett come along after that, and I think Grant's taken a lot of inspiration from Benjamin Graham and also Buffett, but he likes to do real estate, but the principles are the same, but he's more into real estate. So interesting to see where some of these things are being cherry picked from, and I'll show you the reading list at the end that he recommends, and you can kind of see where a lot of these come from. So step 7, I think, is another good step as well. So multiple flows of income. Poor people try to replace flows of money, while rich people try to add the flows. So you want to have more than one investment, or more than one way that you earn money. So you might have your day job, you might have some investments, and you might have a share portfolio that pays dividends, or you might have an investment property that pays rent. So you want to create your multiple flows of income. Effectively that's the holy grail of creating financial freedom, and that's really the big step to true wealth, is being able to have different investments, half a dozen different things, or a dozen different investments that all pay you money on a yearly basis or a monthly basis, or whatever it turns out to be. So what we really want to be doing is constantly building up different flows, so you never leave one. So you want to build them and keep working on them. So later they're quite strong. So then you can actually sort of then pretty much you've got that critical mass coming in, and then nothing can actually destroy or erode them. So you pay attention to them effectively. So never turn your back on your primary flow of money. So you don't walk away from your day job until you're quite secure. Know what you're investing in and look for a sure thing. So I think that goes back to Warren Buffett and Benjamin Graham and those guys. And also it's one of those simple concepts that comes out of a book like Richest Man in Babylon. So there's a lot of these concepts that cross over, and you can see how Grant's done a lot of reading and then picked out the things that have worked for other people and then put them into his own set of values and his own construct, and then move forward with them. Okay, so step 8 is repeat, reinforce, and hyper-focus. Regardless of what people say, getting rich doesn't just happen, and it's definitely not easy, and you'll find there are many challenges along the way. Having success by using your knowledge will give you a renewed sense of confidence and belief in yourself. I think that's what a lot of people lack. They just don't have self-belief or confidence that they can actually do it. That comes with time effectively and getting out and doing it, doing your reading, practicing, making small investments, making bad decisions, learning from them until your decision making is strong and you're confident in yourself. When you change, you may become a threat to those who don't change. When you change your thinking, your old friends or your family might not agree with what you're doing. They might not understand why you've changed the way that you think, and they can't understand. They can't see that the change in thinking has actually brought you the success that you now have. I think investing in yourself is also a big thing, so you want to continue to invest in yourself. So you want to be going to conferences, meetings, if you've got like a mastermind group in your area, join that, network marketing groups, just getting around and meeting the people. So, you might be actually getting out and meeting the people who have your money, so getting out, meeting people, upskilling yourself, and then also building your network. So networking is quite important as well. So just a quick little summary. Getting rich isn't a fantasy. I think most people think it is. I think it's definitely possible. I mean, going back to that second point there, most people just never consider the possibility of getting rich. I think rich is kind of an abstract thing. It means different things to different people, and that's fine as well. What's rich to one person may not be rich to another. I think that overall there's a lack of financial education in schools the world over. So it's not just specific to America or Australia where I am. It's definitely something that for whatever reason it's endemic in most countries. Another thing that I think doesn't help with people becoming comfortable with earning money and becoming wealthy is, even today, speaking about money in just the average conversation is still looked at as being strange or off-putting for people. So just chatting about money typically isn't the done thing, I suppose you could say. I had a bit of a look at the reading list in the back. So the back of this book, there's a suggested reading list, and pretty much everything that Grant Cardone talks about, the fundamental things that he's put together in this book as a primer for you to go ahead and build on. You can see where these come from. So, besides the fact that he recommends his own books, he recommends The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. I think there's a lot of concepts come out of that. The Problems of Work by L. Ron Hubbard, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason, and there's a lot of content, a lot of the way things comes out of that. So 7 Laws of Money or the 5 Rules of Gold. There's a lot of overlap in a lot of things that Grant talks about here. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, or how do they say his last name? That's a really good book, and I think there's a lot of those concepts that come out of here cross over. The Warren Buffett Way by Robert B. Hangstrom, that's another good read. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you read out of this list, if you read Richest Man in Babylon, The Science of Getting Rich, Warren Buffett Way, and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, I think you'll have built a great foundation to actually move forward, become successful. But, having said all that, I think that reading through some of this stuff that Grant says, I think he is a value investor. He looks for value in property, real estate. So he's a real estate value investor, and he uses a lot of these concepts that come from Benjamin Graham and sort of more popularized by Warren Buffett. So I think he definitely is he sticks to his circle of competence, and he definitely looks for things that are definitely discounted, and they've got the possibility for some good capital appreciation because other people just haven't seen it. So he sits, he waits, he puts he saves his money up for the big deal, and when he sees the big deal, he goes for it. And that's pretty much what Warren Buffett does, and those concepts of looking for value, not just in the stock market, but also in real estate. I think that's where Grant sort of does his thing. So, quick summary. Thanks for hanging around, guys. I appreciate it. If you've got some value from this video, if I haven't stammered and stuttered too much through it, I think it's a good read. It's not in depth or anything. It's a good little primer. It gives you some food for thought, and there are some good concepts like the millionaire maths in here that will actually be quite worthwhile, because you can work back, think about what you want, and then work back from it, and then work out how to get it. So it's definitely a good primer. I'm definitely not encouraging or endorsing anything that Grant Cardone does with his other investments or anything like that. To be honest, I have never looked into it. I would never invest with him, but his philosophies of building wealth I really do like. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. I haven't rambled too much. Have a great day. Are you interested in learning more about personal finance and investing in the markets? If you are, then smash the like here on the left hand side and caress the subscribe button on the right hand side. It's Crack the Sky Value Investing. We'll be giving you up-to-date investing news and content so you can navigate the markets wherever you are, expand your investment horizon, and crack your financial sky. Thanks, guys. See you later.